man, the coolest thing happened today. So we just got back from the store. We, as in me and my wife. And as I was exiting the store, I had mentioned AMC stock. And then the guy who heard me, which I intentionally said it out loud, so just in case to see if there were any apes around. And he's like, hey, AMC, I have 900 shares. And I was like, wah, wah, you know, because I only have 557. But I was like, oh my gosh, it's, you know, really great to see somebody else who was, you know, in AMC, another ape. And it was amazing, man. It was the best feeling. I literally got chills. I know it sounds kind of like not that big of a deal, but it is that big of a deal because as a collective, as a community, like we have done so much for each other. We have done a lot, and we deserve to just, you know, relax and be relaxed and be happy and reaping the reward. And that's pretty much what we're doing. And it's amazing to see other people like that, where you don't feel completely alone because they know exactly what you've been going through. They know exactly what you're talking about, and they know exactly how you feel. And we're feeling really freaking great because we almost passed $30. We're so close, so close. I know a lot of people were selling at 29. We took a huge dip. Now I say that in quotations because it's not that big of a dip. A $3 dip from 29 down to 26. Was it a hit? Yes. Was it a huge dip? Not really. Unless you were buying, you know, it was a really great time to get in. But overall, I mean, we finished strong. I think after hours, we finished at 26.50. So that's pretty amazing, guys. We're doing so great. Another freaking savage day in the market for everybody on AMC. So I don't know. There's so many great things to look forward to tomorrow. I know it seems like this whole week has just gone so freaking fast. Like, I wish we'd have the whole 7 days to ourselves because it's like nonstop action. Going into next week is going to be crazy. I know most of you guys aren't going to be able to concentrate on anything going into Memorial Day. Remember, it's a 3-day weekend, so not only do we have Saturday and Sunday after tomorrow, but we also have Monday off. So we won't be coming back into the market until Tuesday, which is insane, man. It's like, no, man. And I don't know if they did this on purpose or not, but I mean, come on. Like, they've done so much manipulation and that sort of crap. Like, it wouldn't surprise me that they picked this month going into June before the share recount, right? That they would decide to do it over a 3-day weekend just to tease us, to be like, hey, you know, this thing's skyrocketing finally. And not only that, but going into next week, you guys are only going to get 4 days. We're going to rob you guys from an extra day. That's just more of a conspiracy than anything. But I mean, kind of like where it says here, we have nowhere to go right now but up. The volume is insane. No volatility halts, unfortunately. I think we almost did reach one when we were going down from 29 to 26, but it didn't happen. I was kind of sort of expecting it, but it didn't happen. But that's great regardless, because even if it did halt, who knows how much it could have fallen down to. I know it kind of did start bouncing off 25, but we still managed to get it back up to 26.50 after hours. So that's pretty great. So tomorrow should be pretty crazy. I know a lot of you guys are getting paid, myself included. So I'm going to try to buy myself some more stock and see where this baby goes, because going into the weekend, who knows where it's going to go after, you know, the pre-market on Tuesday, considering we're not going to get Monday to trade. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be very interesting. Ending the week very strong. I don't know if most of you guys think we're going to be above 30, if it's going to be a battle of 30, or if we're going to start dipping down. Who knows? A little bit of sideways trading, barcoding, consolidation. It's kind of hard to tell, considering like we've been ripping the whole entire week up. What was it? 10% the first day, or like 8%, and then the next day was like 10, and then the next day was like 19, and then today it was 35. We even reached a 40% increase at one point once we were reaching that $30 mark. But over 35% on the day, that's freaking crazy, man. And if we look at the freaking chart, look how beautiful that looks. That looks amazing. And it's insane to think about it. Yeah, there's that huge red candlestick there at the end. But even then, like, one thing that I want to reiterate for everybody is like, yeah, we want to get greedy and we want this thing to rip all of a sudden. But at the same time, we want some healthy growth. We want to build resistance levels as we get higher. That way we don't have to completely panic if the stock starts to drop, right? And just looking at this chart, it's looking really freaking beautiful. Yeah, we reached 29 and we went back down to 26, but at the same time, we can't be complaining considering we went 35% on the day. That's freaking insane. That's unheard of. And I know most of you guys were looking at the chart, and I'm not looking at my gains, but if you were looking at your gains today compared to where they were Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I'm pretty sure most of you guys are making a boatload of money. Whether it's your first time making thousands, whether it's your second time, third time, for me, I'm paying attention more to the price than my gains. The gains is a distraction. I think we need to not focus too much on the price, but just one level at a time, right? Every time we go up $1 or $2, we need to be able to look at the volume, and we need to be able to look at that bullish momentum to keep it up, keep pushing no matter what, even if it starts tipping down a little bit. Again, we need to look at that level of resistance to get that bounce back so we can just keep ripping a healthy, nice grow. And this isn't even the squeeze. I know reading some articles, people are saying, they're calling it the squeeze, the beginning of the squeeze. And you can't call it the beginning of the squeeze, but it's not the squeeze. Like, we're slowly but surely getting there. And by slowly, this is slow. Like, once the volatility halts start and we start ripping dollars and in dollar increments, $10 increments, that's where the insanity starts, and everybody's going to get their hands sweaty, mom spaghetti, knees weak, and then you're not going to be able to understand what the heck is going on, because everything is just going to be the volume is going to be so insanely high to the point where we're just going to be laughing all the way to the bank. We're just going to be cracking up. We're going to be looking at our partners. We're going to be looking at our family. We're going to be looking at our friends. We're going to be like, oh, you a thousandaire, a millionaire? Oh, please. Like, take your wife out to dinner, take your kids out to the movies, or take your family out on a nice vacation and be like, yeah, you want that snowboard right there, that ski board, whatever the heck you want to call it, $10,000, $1,000, $100, $50. Yeah, go ahead. I made money on AMC stock. Why? Because I diamond hand. I'm an ape. I'm in the ape community on Twitter, Discord, Reddit, YouTube, Facebook. The real apes, anyways. There's a whole bunch of shows out there. They want to say, technical analysis doesn't count, or charting doesn't count, and they want to go, or whatever the case may be. Dude, just do your own thing and shut the hell up. Honestly. Like, it's one thing to comment about other people and how they want to run their channels and YouTube, and then, like I said, be a hypocrite and do the exact same thing. Like, don't get me wrong, Lou versus Wall Street, that's exactly who I'm talking about. He's a cool guy, like, in his own way. Is he chasing clout? Absolutely. I don't benefit on anything other than the fact that I want to talk about AMC and where I'm at and how painful it is, because I totally could have bought in at 9. I totally could have bought in at 12, but I bought in at 14.68. I mean, you could clearly see that in my previous videos, and it's a painful thing to watch. But at the same time, like, just reading some of your comments, going on Twitter, going on these Facebook pages, all these experiences about people being able to pay off their debts, whether it's college, medical, home, insurance, all of that. Like, it just makes us want to just focus on the real important things that matter in life, which is family, quality time, and just not being able to worry about money. Having that financial freedom where, we could all just be like, all right, this is the best feeling in the world. Like, not only do I have to not worry about paying my bills, but I could also hang out with the people that I love, and they get to hang out with me, and they get a benefit. That's if you want to include them in that circle of yours, because I know a lot of people who, and not in my experience, but I've read some people who are just like, oh yeah, man, I have a whole bunch of people just making fun of me. They're saying, oh, I'm crazy, thinking that the stock can go yada, yada, yada. And honestly, as hard as it is to believe, look at where we are now compared to where we were last week or the week before that, when we were trading like at $8. And now we're almost hitting $30, $26.50 at the end of after hours today. Up 35%. That's insane. Anyways, guys, I'm going to go ahead and read you guys just an article. A very interesting article that I found online. Pretty straightforward. This is not a shill article at all. This is just pretty much a very straightforward analysis of what's been going on with AMC. But I want to read it to you guys because I think it's very interesting as far as one particular thing, and that's the hashtag AMC 500K. So they recognize that on Twitter, it's being used to promote the idea that AMC stock price could soar all the way to $500,000 per share, up from the $26.52 of today. And they say if that would occur with its over 490 million shares outstanding, that would make it if AMC ever reached $500,000 per share, that would push AMC's market capitalization up to $245 trillion. Which, to put that in perspective, the U.S. the whole freaking market cap of all of the U.S. public companies is roughly $50 trillion. I think the U.S. economy is $75 trillion. And I'll even search that right now. U.S. economy market description below. I don't want to waste most of your guys' time, but I know it's somewhere around here. Anyways, but just to put that into perspective, because I know a lot of people were asking on other sites, and I even live stream, and there was a guy asking me, or a subscriber, or somebody who was joining in on the live stream, and they were asking me if I thought 500K or even 100K was a possibility. Now, taking all of this into consideration, if all the stocks, right, in the stock market put together, all the companies were worth roughly around $50 trillion, and if all the shares, the 490 million shares outstanding in AMC were worth $500,000, that would put the market cap of AMC up to $246 trillion. That's freaking crazy. So it's not to say that I'm being a shill or saying, oh, 500K cannot happen. I mean, it could happen. I mean, on paper, it could totally happen. But, I mean, nothing's impossible. But at the same time, if you were asking me as a realist, do I think it's going to reach 500K? Do I want it to reach? Is a different story. Yes, I want it to reach 500K. Why wouldn't that be the case? If somebody gave me an option, what would you rather be? 100K, 1K, 500K? I say 500K. Easy. But that's not how the way the world works. And so just to be realistic, one step at a time, the closer we get to 100, we're going to start seeing a lot of way more volatility than we saw today. And today was pretty insane. Yesterday was pretty insane. And we dropped $3 today. And I think that scared a lot of people. And it's going to get scarier as we get higher and higher. So just mentally, be prepared mentally and try to keep your eye on the prize. Don't think way too far into the future and say, oh, well, it's going to reach 100K. If we're barely down on $30 right now, pretty much reaching $26.50 at the end of the day. And if $30 is the goal for tomorrow, then $30. We have to take into account that there are people who are swing trading this all week or who are day trading, and even the shorts trying to pummel this stock down to the point where people are just going to give up and they're going to say, okay, I'm going to take profit. This is as high as it's going to go. And they're going to try to short the heck out of the stock where there's nobody left to say, oh, okay, we're taking a stand here. No. But as long as we keep doing what we're doing, we're going to be fine. So there's no question that the whole ape community has been doing their job, because why else would we be in the situation 6 months into the year, right? So we don't have to worry about that. But what we do have to focus on is the realistic side of it, which is reaching 30 tomorrow, and then see if we can reach 35. Would it be so freaking amazing if we could end this week at $40? Heck yeah. Heck to the heck yeah, man. And would that be a problem? That wouldn't be a problem at all, because we were up 35%. I mean, Roaring Kitty said it best, and he said, if you ask me, I like the stock. And everybody right now is loving what's going on, not just with AMC, but with GameStop. I mean, these guys in tandem skyrocketing to the moon. The ape community, the GME community, I mean, one feeds off the other and vice versa. right? Everybody's in on GameStop. Most people who are in on AMC because it's cheaper. You know, if GME rips to the point where, okay, they feel comfortable enough, that they made enough profit, they're going to jump in on AMC. And then you have people who are, on FOMO who are looking at AMC and they're going to be like, okay, let's get it on AMC because we have FOMO. And then you have, bigger institutional investors on top of BlackRock and on top of Vanguard who own, almost 8 million and 6 million respectively each. It's going to get to the point where they're going to look at this play, even though, all these articles are super bullish on AMC at this point because, it is what it is. You're not going to say, oh, tomorrow it's going to hit $1 or it's going to hit 1 cent, even though it can totally happen. It's the freaking stock market. But at this point, at this mark into the race, at this checkpoint, it's just the beginning of the squeeze. This isn't even the squeeze. Like, can you imagine the beginning of the real squeeze, going into the middle of the squeeze, going into the end of the squeeze? Like, it's going to be totally insane, and we're not going to be able to comprehend how insane that's going to be. We're going to be laughing so hard that people are going to think we're crazy. And we are crazy. You're crazy for believing in this. I'm crazy for selling and chasing Doge. Completely different story. I'm an idiot. But you guys have been doing such a phenomenal job. Just keep your eye on the prize. Don't focus too far ahead into the future saying if 500K is possible, 100K is possible. If you asked me or any other person, do you want 100K, 500K to happen? Of course I do. But realistically, if I were to say guarantee, if I would want a guarantee here, I would want a guaranteed 1K per share. I would be so totally fine with that. And that's not a shill move. That's not to say I don't believe in the squeeze, that it could go higher, because it could totally go higher. If it starts to trend the way it's been trending and we get that whole, huge, insane amount of volume that GameStop had back in January, then yeah, we could totally see it go past 1K. But, that's just being realistic, right? That's being as high as anybody could say. Okay, realistically, if you had an option, where would you be comfortable to say that with all the effort that you've put in, with all the time, with all the blood, sweat, and tears, all the patience, the emotional roller coaster, if it reached 100K, would you be okay selling half, 1/3, 1/4, or all of your profit? Sure. Why else should, it's one thing to be greedy, and then it's another thing to be insanely greedy. And just like how I keep reminding people, or at least I try to remind people anyways, even if we start dipping just a little bit, just to consolidate and just to trend a little bit, just to build some momentum, just build some more resistance, the higher we go, the better chance we get of making this baby go higher. People are going to look at this and be like, oh, okay, we're looking at this chart, right? If we go back to the chart, people are going to be looking at it and seeing the level of resistance. They're going to be seeing, the insanity, which is AMC, and they're going to look at this like, oh, okay, we saw it went to 20, and then it went down to 6, and then it went to 10, and then it went to 9, then to 14, then kind of a little boring period here where it didn't really do much, 9, and then it went to 11, then 9. And then they're going to look at this and going to be like, wait a minute, what the heck is this insanity that's going on over here, right? 14, 12, holy moly, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I mean, it's just like I'm counting numbers at this point, and that's the best part, right? It's just like if somebody asked me count from 1 to 100, but, we started at 15 and then we just kept going up. Well, it was 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. I mean, how satisfying is that to just keep going and keep going? It's the most satisfying feeling in the world. And with all the apes coming together and all the apes just being like, hey, man, high five, chest bump, fist bump, head bump, because we're smooth brained. It's not like we have to worry about, what's in here. But what's in here that counts is that getting too greedy and being like, oh, it's at 29 and now it's at 26. Like, we have no reason to be bummed considering like how high we went into today. So just take what I'm saying, with some food for thought, right? That's some food for thought. Like, even though the high of today was 29.50 and we're finishing it off at 26.50, that's nothing to be ashamed of. I know it sucks and it's only $3 or $2.50 difference, but it's going to get crazier than that. The higher we go, we could see it drop down $10. We could see it drop down $20. But does that mean if we're totally up on the day that it's a loss, or that, oh my God, we're losing, oh no, the stock is falling down? No, because we're still in the green. We can't be too greedy and too overzealous and, you know, not look at pretty much what's staring at us in the face, right? Which is future wealth for whether it's your children, your grandchildren, for yourself. If you're single, then that's fine. If you want to go build, you know, animal shelter like my wife does, or if you want to stay on YouTube and you want to build, you know, this whole YouTube community, or if you want to, you know, donate to charity, or if you want to work at home, like at this point in your life, if you're making so much money and you're worried about, you know, a $10 difference, if you're up money, like, you're looking at life in a totally different perspective. Like, it's okay to be greedy again, but insanely greedy to the point where you're not satisfied with the amount of money you're making. It's a completely different story. And I'm sorry to say that we should all be happy no matter what, that this is even a possibility, that whether you saw it on Twitter last week, this week, or you've been holding since the beginning of the year, your friend told you, your coworker, your wife, your brother, whoever. I mean, just the mere fact that we're all in on this and we bought in super cheap, and, you know, the community, the history in the making, all of it, like, I'm just glad to be a part of it. Just to be a part of this, the feeling of it is way more than money can ever, than the amount of money that I could ever make. Like, seriously, like, just how, like, I started this video and I saw that guy at the store and I was talking to my wife and talking about AMC, and he totally just turned around and was like, hey, I'm in AMC. I wanted to go over there and hug the guy. But my wife looked at me like, like, don't embarrass me, one, even though I like to embarrass her. And then two, like, don't look insane, right? You don't know the guy. You don't know what he's doing. Like, what if it's a trap or whatever the case may be? But that's the unification that we have. That's the unity. That's the love that we have, not only for the stock and not only for our money, but for the people like you and me. Like, you guys don't have to like me, but I love the frick out of you guys. And that's genuine. I'm not here to sell out. I'm here to be transparent with you guys. I'm telling you at what price I bought in. If I want to keep buying, even if I make a mistake and I lose money, you guys got to be entertained. I'm the one that's losing. But for me, at the end of the day, it's mostly just interacting with each and every one of you, learning your background stories, learning why you invested in AMC, how you invested in AMC. And if you guys want to continue to have that conversation, you know, for me, I always tell people, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Feel free to subscribe to the channel, and we're all fine. Also, catch me on Twitter, because then I think it's more direct, a little bit more intimate. We can have way more deep in thought conversations on Twitter. So without further ado, guys, I am Tom Trading. Thanks again for watching. If you guys want to drop a comment, feel free to do so. Hit a like. I would really appreciate it. I like you guys. I only think it's fair enough. And like I said, feel free to subscribe to the channel, and I'll keep you guys updated. I love you guys. Let's head into this week super freaking strong. It is Friday tomorrow, heading into the 3-day weekend, heading into that Memorial Day weekend here in the States. I'll catch you guys next time. I am Tom Trading. Let's go AMC. Let's see if we can hit that $30 mark tomorrow, baby. Let's go. Peace out.